The start, stop, and emergency stop buttons are located on the lower part of the control panel. The small green button is for start, the small red button is for stop, and the larger red button is the emergency stop button. When you press the large red emergency stop button, the machine power will be turned off immediately and the machine will stop right where it is. It's practical to use this really only in the case of an emergency, as you may also lose where the machine is in the design and not be able to complete the embroidery. Otherwise, the stop key is to be used whenever you need to stop the machine to rectify an issue that you've noticed, or just if you want to answer the phone and don't want the noise. The start key is used to do just that, to start the embroidery. So you start the embroidery with the green key and you stop the embroidery with the red key. Now these buttons also function in the float mode. If you're in the float mode, you can start floating forward through the design by pressing the green button. You press the stop button in order to stop floating. You press the stop button to float backward in the design, and then press it a second time to stop it while in the float mode. So again, the primary functions of these keys are to start the embroidery, to stop the embroidery, and in an emergency, to stop the machine and turn off the power. The number pad on the control panel is used primarily for programming the color sequence for your embroidery. It also can be used to choose a needle manually so that you would send the machine manually from one needle to another. Each number corresponds to a needle number. If you want to go to needle number 11, you would press 10 plus 1. The same is true as if you're programming your color sequence. Any numbers going from 10 through 15 will require that you press the 10 plus, 0 for 10, 10 plus 1 for 11, 10 plus 2 for 12, and so on up through 15. The plus minus key on the keypad brings up on your control panel display the version of software that the machine is currently installed with. The numeric pad can also be used when you're in a menu of the control panel. For instance, if you're in a menu that has options 1 through 9, you can press the option you want, or select the option you want, by pressing the corresponding number that's listed next to the option. For example, one of the options is to do a frame range, which is option number 5. You would press 5 and then the enter key to select that option. This button on your control panel is the float function. In another video, we describe how this button will allow you to change between float modes from slow float to fast float to embroidery mode. This button is the set and quit embroidery button. Right now the embroidery is set, and that's indicated by the red light being on. When you press this button, the machine will prompt you, do you want to quit embroidery? It'll prompt for yes. You select the enter key to select that option, and you'll notice that the red light has gone out. Now corresponding to this is an icon on your display, which will then have a slash through the needle at the top left of your control panel display. The next button down is the manual trim key. When you press this button, the machine will immediately execute a trim. This button is the color change mode key. When you press this button, it allows you to go between the 3 modes of color change, from manual mode to automatic color change manual start to automatic color change automatic start. The next key is the spacebar looking key. This key is used whenever you are programming a new design into the memory and you wish to name the design in the memory of the machine. You will rarely, if ever, use this button. The next button right here, this button cycles the machine to 100 degrees or heads up. If you ever encounter an error indicating that the machine is not at heads up, you can fix that by pressing the clear key on the control panel to clear the error, and then pressing the button here to cycle the machine to heads up. The next button is the escape key. This button will allow you to get out of some menus without making any changes. The next key is the Enter or the Select key. This key is used whenever you are selecting an option from a menu. This button on your control panel is for the USB disk operations key. This key will allow you to input a design from a USB disk, to erase designs from a USB disk, and other functions related to your USB. It is not necessary to use this key to load designs from the USB, because you can also do that from this menu here. This is your disk operations key. This button is used for all operations concerning the machine memory, including inputting designs to the memory of the machine, deleting designs from the memory of the machine, and copying designs from the memory of the machine. The next key is the MC key, or the Design Parameters key. This button is used primarily to access menus to set the direction of the embroidery and the needle sequence. This next key is the Assistant Function key, and it's used for various functions such as returning the machine to the default values, to setting the language that the machine uses, to testing machine parts and other functions, and it should only be used by a technician or when specifically being instructed to do so by one. Refer to section number 8 of the operation manual for additional information. The next key is the Manual Operations key. This button is used primarily to return the design to the starting point and to get into the Trace function menu. This key is the Clear key. This button is used primarily to clear error codes from the display on the LCD so that you can remedy the issue. These 4 keys are your frame move keys. The button pointing upward moves the frame toward the rear of the machine. The button pointing downward moves the frame toward the front of the machine. The button pointing to the right moves the frame to the right of the machine. The button to the left, pointing to the left, moves the frame to the left on the machine. This center button changes the frame move speed. When I press that button, a little red light comes on letting me know that I am in the fast move mode. Press it one more time and now I'm back into the slow frame move. These 2 keys are the speed up and speed down keys. When I press these, the machine will slow down if I press the left key. The machine will speed up if I press the right key. When I press these keys while the machine is not sewing, in my control panel, the speed readout will change to reflect the basic speed that I'm setting. Again, the right key speeds the machine up, the left key speeds the machine down. Your basic operating speed of the machine is between 400 and 1,000 stitches per minute, although generally on average most designs will run at about 800 or perhaps 850 stitches per minute. This light on your control panel indicates that the machine is at 100 degrees or heads up. When the machine stops, as it is now, it should stop at 100 degrees and this light will come on. This will happen when the machine stops for trims or color changes or at the end of a design. If the machine stops and the light does not come on, before the machine will start again, that has to be remedied or you will receive an error code indicating that the machine did not stop at 100. The easiest way to remedy this issue is to press the key on your keypad that looks like a square period. That will cycle the machine to the 100 position and the light should come back on.